When the lights went down, the crowd held its breath. Confetti swirled through the air, and Richard Goodall, an ordinary janitor from a small town in Indiana, had just been crowned the winner of America's Got Talent. To the world, it was a fairy tale moment. An everyday man whose life had been quiet and unassuming suddenly became a national hero overnight. But as magical as it seemed, the story behind that win was far from simple. Months later, the truth emerged, revealing challenges, heartbreak, and resilience that even someone like Simon Cowell, known for his famously critical eye, couldn't ignore. In fact, the emotional weight of Richard's journey reportedly brought Cowell to tears. What could possibly make the toughest talent judge in the world break down? And how did a man who spent decades living quietly finally find the courage to step into the spotlight? Let's uncover the full story. The quiet life of a hidden talent. Richard Goodall lived a life defined by routine. For years, he worked as a janitor at a middle school in Terre Haute, Indiana, cleaning hallways, emptying trash cans, and making sure classrooms were orderly. To those around him, Richard was humble, reserved, and dependable, a man quietly doing his job without seeking attention. Music was part of his life, but only in private. Once he had dreamed of singing for the world, but over time he tucked that dream away, believing that fame and opportunity weren't meant for someone like him. For Richard, music was personal. He sang in private, using songs as a refuge to process life's joys and sorrows. He didn't perform publicly. He didn't chase applause. And to most, he was simply a man living a life defined by responsibility, perseverance, and the quiet dignity of work. Everything changed unexpectedly during a school event. A short video captured Richard singing, unplanned, raw, and full of emotion. In that moment, viewers saw something extraordinary. There was no polish, no rehearsal-induced perfection, just pure, heartfelt talent. The video spread like wildfire. People were amazed that someone so far removed from the music industry could possess such a powerful voice. It wasn't long before the right people noticed. A talent scout linked to a major television show saw the clip, and soon, Richard's story had reached Simon Cowell himself. The difference between Richard and thousands of other hopefuls wasn't just his vocal ability, it was the emotion in his voice. It spoke of life lived fully, of struggles endured, and of dreams quietly nurtured in solitude. That emotion set him apart. Stepping onto the national stage, Richard's audition for America's Got Talent was life-changing, not just for his career, but for his sense of self. Traveling far from his small Indiana hometown, standing under the bright lights in front of thousands of viewers, it was overwhelming. For someone who had spent decades unnoticed, this was uncharted territory. The audition began with nerves showing on his face, but once Richard started singing, everything else faded. The judges and later the audience were captivated. When Simon Cowell gave his feedback, it shifted from critique to praise, signaling that Richard had truly reached the next level. The applause, the recognition, the sudden awareness from a national audience, it was dizzying yet life-changing. From that moment, Richard's life was never the same. Media outlets highlighted the stark contrast between his job as a janitor and his incredible talent. Clips of his performance circulated online, and suddenly, a man who had quietly walked the halls of a middle school was being celebrated nationwide. Personal struggles behind the spotlight. While the story looked like a dream, it was far from an uncomplicated ascent. Richard had faced profound personal loss. His first wife had passed away from cancer, leaving a deep unspoken grief. Even as he rose to fame, that pain lingered, shaping how he experienced every performance and every moment of recognition. To those who knew him, his smiles and gratitude were real, but they hid a heavy emotional burden. Online, viewers began to notice the hints of struggle. When Simon Cowell spoke about Richard's emotional state, he revealed what the public had only suspected. Richard was carrying a serious emotional load. The tears, the hesitation, the quiet intensity, they weren't signs of weakness. They were evidence of life experiences that had shaped him. For Simon, who had lost loved ones himself, the connection was immediate and deeply moving. This revelation transformed the audience's understanding of Richard's journey. His talent wasn't just impressive, it was intertwined with resilience, endurance, and the ability to keep going despite life's setbacks. A life that took its time to be seen. Before the competition, Richard had tried pursuing music in the public eye. Years earlier, he auditioned for The Voice but did not advance. The disappointment could have been crushing, yet he returned to his routine, carrying his dream quietly in his heart. America's Got Talent was a second chance, not because he expected to win, but because he wanted to be heard. On stage, he didn't rely on flashy gimmicks or dramatic gestures. He sang with honesty, letting his voice carry the weight of lived experience. Audiences connected instantly. His performance with members of the band Journey marked a profound moment, a full-circle experience where years of quiet passion culminated in recognition that felt both surreal and deserved. In September 2024, Richard was crowned the winner of Season 19. With the victory came a $1 million prize, media attention, and instant national recognition. But alongside the triumph came major personal milestones. He married his longtime partner Angie Vanovan during the competition period, finding stability and emotional grounding amid the whirlwind of fame. Even hernia surgery later reminded him that despite sudden change, the body and mind still needed care. Holding onto himself after fame, many expected Richard to abandon his life in Indiana, chasing celebrity at any cost. Yet he made a surprising choice. He returned to Choney Rose Middle School, continuing the work he had done for decades. Fame didn't erase his identity. Instead, it layered it with new opportunities while keeping him grounded. With Angie's support, Richard also embarked on a personal journey, searching for his biological father, whom he had never met. The reunion, along with discovering previously unknown siblings, brought closure and reshaped his understanding of family and belonging. These deeply personal moments were never headline news, but they profoundly affected Richard's sense of self. Life after the spotlight. Richard's post-AGT journey was a careful balance of old life and new opportunities. He released his debut album, Believe Again, blending covers with original songs, performing at Nashville's Grand Ole Opry, singing at sports events, and opening for established entertainers like Howie Mandel solidified his credibility as a true artist, not just a TV sensation. Richard also gave back to the community. The Believe in Fund at Choney Rose Middle School supported students pursuing musical ambitions, a reflection of his desire to help others achieve dreams despite financial or social barriers. Local recognition followed, including the key to his hometown city, showing the depth of pride and admiration his community held for him. Beyond music, Richard shared his story nationwide, visiting schools and inspiring young people to pursue their dreams. His message was simple, yet profound. Persistence, honesty, and courage can turn ordinary lives into extraordinary stories. The reality of the AGT prize. Winning America's Got Talent comes with a $1 million prize, but the reality is more complicated than it seems. The money is paid over 40 years in annual installments of $25,000 before taxes. Winners can take a lump sum, but it typically amounts to $300,000 to $400,000 after taxes. Additionally, contracts often give producers partial control over the winner's career, requiring sharing of earnings and oversight of public appearances. Sudden fame also brings pressure. Media scrutiny, public attention, and performance expectations can overwhelm winners, challenging their mental and emotional resilience. Yet for many, including Richard, the exposure outweighs the financial limitations. It's the platform and the opportunity to inspire others that hold the true value. Simon Cowell, the man behind the critique. Even as Richard's story captured hearts, Simon Cowell's own journey revealed that success often hides hardship. Born in London in 1959, Simon faced emotional distance at home, academic struggles, and early career humiliation. From sorting mail at EMI to founding Fanfare Records, only to experience financial failure, Simon's rise to entertainment mogul was marked by resilience, persistence, and personal trials. Scandals, public scrutiny, and even serious injuries, like a severe spine injury from an electric bike accident, tested Simon's endurance. His life story, like Richard's, underscores that public success often comes at a personal cost. It's a reminder that talent, opportunity, and perseverance intersect with vulnerability and human experience. Staying grounded while reaching for dreams. Richard's life exemplifies a delicate balance between ambition and authenticity. He continued working at his school while pursuing performance opportunities, maintaining his connection to community and personal roots. Fame didn't define him, it complemented his values. He used his story to motivate others, reminding audiences that dreams can be pursued at any stage of life, that recognition doesn't need to compromise humility, and that persistence in the face of ordinary circumstances can lead to extraordinary outcomes. Even with opportunities and attention, Richard maintained a steady, calm approach. He didn't chase fame for its own sake, nor did he define success by immediate wealth. Instead, he focused on connection, growth, and meaningful contribution, both through music and community support. The true legacy of Richard Goodall. Richard Goodall's journey is not just about talent or victory, it's about resilience, patience, and remaining true to oneself. From janitor to national star, his life shows that success can coexist with humility, and fame doesn't have to erase identity. His story inspires others to embrace their passions, face challenges, and understand that opportunity often comes after years of unseen effort. Richard continues to pursue music, perform, and inspire while staying grounded in the life that shaped him. His message resonates. Dreams are ageless, perseverance is powerful, and authenticity is invaluable. Even as the spotlight fades, Richard's story endures, not as a fleeting moment of fame, but as a testament to what dedication, heart, and courage can achieve.